And good morning and welcome to the VSA Capital 5 Minute Morning Mining on Thursday, September the 14th. Morning, Ollie. You're on today because Paul's on holiday, isn't he?
Yep, it's me again. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. I think Paul's on holiday because he was out celebrating his 20th wedding anniversary last night with his wife.
Oh, well, congratulations to Paul.
Yeah.
And his wife.
Yeah, I was about to say, maybe more for his wife. I shouldn't say that. That's very unfair. Anyway, here we go. Now, look, probably the one that's caught our eye, and so sorry, listeners, it's going to be top of the news. Is Ferro Alloys today have had not just interims, but also a placing raising about £10 million or so. Why don't you give your analytical take on it, Ollie, first, and I may add some comments at the end, because obviously it's a company that we know pretty well. We did act for in the past, but obviously we are very involved in the whole vanadium market because of vanadium flow batteries, etc. But Ollie, your take first.
Yeah, so it looks like, well, let's start with the interim results. It looks like they've made some progress in terms of increasing production. So revenues have increased from $1.5 million to 4.3, and they've narrowed the loss from $1 million to $750,000. So it's weaker margin overall, but I think it's the key thing to remember is that pilot plant is a pilot plant, and it's not really there to generate earnings. It's there to demonstrate the viability of the future project. But the period ended with only $500,000 in cash, hence the need to do a placing to complete the drilling and the metallurgical test work for the feasibility study. I don't think there's any particular surprises in what's been announced in the progress. The byproducts, the black carbon, is something that Nick's been working on for a long time, and has highlighted for years that could be a really significant byproduct. I suppose the key thing to look for in Q4 is the start of actual vanadium pentoxide production rather than the ammonium metavanadate intermediate product that they've been producing for the last few years.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, it's a pilot plant. It's all about developing the main project. I mean, I suppose the big question that I have, just looking at the figures, and also Sir Mick Davis's, who is the non-exec chairman, comment, is that he actually states here installations around the world of vanadium flow batteries are increasing, which is perhaps the basis of vanadium prices remaining strong compared with historic levels. I mean, he's right in as much as vanadium historically, had a long-term trading at around $3. It's currently at about $7.30. Actually, I think the vanadium price is likely to come down and needs to come down because actually vanadium flow batteries aren't increasing anything like rapidly enough because of the vanadium price. It's holding them back, and it's this sort of chicken and egg. And I actually think the long-term price of vanadium, again, vanadium at the moment, the main use is obviously in the steel and the construction industry. We know that the world is slowing down, the construction industry will be slowing down, therefore the demand for vanadium will be coming off. We also know that there's a lot of groups like Shell, AMG, Aramco setting up this ability to be able to take vanadium out of catalysts. We know that US vanadium takes fly ash and can produce very cheap vanadium. So there's actually more and more vanadium coming along. Demand, until we get these flow batteries working properly, decreasing. So I actually think short term the vanadium price is going to come off. And I think that unfortunately is going to put pressure onto the vanadium producers. We obviously talked about that in the last few days with Paul and Bushveld, which is struggling slightly. So we then probably ought to move on to the placing. I'll just say that the lead bit to the placing, I'll take your view, Ollie, is that, of course, although Vision Blue Resources, led by Sir Mick Davis, is saying that it will hold its corner, when they first came in, everyone got very excited because they had options. I think it was at 78p. And everyone thought, great, that's where the next fundraiser is going to be coming in. Of course, they're actually coming in at 12p, which isn't that much higher than the last level of 8p. And the stock, of course, has drifted down from 43p to this 12p level. And so I suppose that's why there's quite a lot of disappointment that the sort of bigger promises given by Vision Blue just aren't coming through. But Ollie, what's your take?
Yeah, I think that's that's right. I mean, obviously you can't do a placing at 78p when the stock's, a quarter of that level.
You're right, Ollie. Even I can't do that, right? That's too much magic for me.
But but I think the discount and only holding its corner is probably a little bit sour for other investors who've come in as well.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, it's look, we want to support the whole vanadium space, but it's going through a very tough time at the moment. And I guess I suppose one would put the old classic broker's hold on it at the moment, wouldn't you, Ollie? If you were having to put an analyst recommendation, you're not actually covering it officially, so I'm just sort of giving it as a sort of that's the sort of stance I think one has to take at the moment. Watch and see.
Yeah, I think people were waiting for the feasibility study and seeing what the plan is then, because that's then the project financing phase and where either the sort of big dilution comes in or it gets funded as it was previously promised.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's quite a lot on that. Everyone who's got further questions on it, obviously, it is a space we look at very closely. Now, I think also you wanted to talk about Apollo Silver.
Yes, so Apollo Silver, TSX listed. They announced the last set of drill results from their phase 1 2022 drilling program and some surface sampling results as well. So the two are linked. So there were 3 holes which basically rounded out the infill drilling on the silver, so the 150 million ounce silver resource, which is one of the biggest pure silver resources in the world, and undeveloped as yet. But these last 3 results confirmed the style of mineralization within the resource exactly as expected. So 151 grams a ton silver over 95 meters from surface, 92 grams a ton silver over 40 meters from surface, and 123 grams a ton silver over 26.5 meters from surface. So big, thick, strongly mineralized silver and very shallow, very amenable to open pit mining. And then the new thing that Apollo's been looking at is the potential for gold. And really they're the first group to start trying to test this. As we've said before, Paul worked on this project for Asarco in the 80s, and they were just looking for silver, but they have done 6 holes here which have defined a 900 by 400 meter area of gold mineralization to the southeast of the silver. This is likely to be a subsequent event, so quite separate from the silver in terms of the structure, but again, thick intercepts, 5 to 45 meters, but quite low gold grades at the moment, sort of around half a gram a ton. But what's more encouraging is that surface sampling in that area and slightly beyond have shown rock chip samples up to 6 grams a ton. So given these are the first couple of holes testing that gold potential, this is quite a big new area of interest for the project, and phase 2 drilling will be starting later on this quarter, I think. So more news flow to come there.
Yeah, they better get on with it quickly, Ollie. The gold price is falling rather rapidly at the moment. It's 1,688. I don't like it when it's below 1,700. Doesn't feel too strong in its own right.
Well, silver has been holding up quite well.
No, very well, I'd say, actually. It's bounced quite nicely, silver, $19.47.
Yeah. So the silver stocks are looking pretty good at the moment. Quite a few of them looking like they're about to test the breakout.
Yeah, and actually talking of silver, by the way, I'm just going to put this at the end of this, but we must stop this because we've gone over 5 minutes. But yesterday I mentioned that we should go on a trip to Guanajuato to see it. I gather you're going on it and you haven't invited me.
Oh, yeah, I've booked my flights.
Thanks, mate. You're fired. No, that's just a joke. Don't worry. Right, on that note, come on, better stop. People don't more than 5 minutes really from us. So hope if you've got questions on either of those, do come back to us. Thanks, Ollie. And is Paul back tomorrow?
Paul is back tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, Ollie.
Cheers.